Greetings and salutations everyone, I'm Ekamac, this is Let's Play of the Devil. I do not have Stella sitting next to me like usual, which means that if we do get a lot of lines from 80, then I am going to cry. In the last episode, we did technically win the trial. Unfortunately, our little robot assistant, Maya, has been identified on footage as being involved in the case. I don't think she did it. I really don't think she did it. She wouldn't have helped us so much with this case. She wouldn't have even brought it up to us if she had done it. So something weird is going on. I'm just expecting us to get an investigation segment now. Now all I have to do is deal with the shitstorm of the decade. 8:47 PM, July 1st, 2086. Well, I managed to prove that David didn't kill himself, and in the process I proved that his android did. I proved that the android that's been walking around with me all day is capable of murder. A killer robot, a true unbound AI with military-grade specs and at least one death to its name already. So much for avoiding the public eye. Thank you for coming here on such short notice, Judge Barrows. Ha! Oh no, okay, I'll have to do some post-recordings with Stella then. As if I'm doing you some kind of favour. I didn't realise I had any choice in the matter. This isn't some bad joke, is it, Miss Rockford? I'm afraid not, Your Honour. You know, I like the adjutants. I always have. They deal with criminal trials so that bookish, quiet, contemplative people like me can spend all day typing up arguments for obscure local legal treaties. That's what I like to do. Melissa Barrows, date of birth November 26, height 169, weight redacted, blood type A+, occupation superior judge of the higher circuit. Likes air conditioning, espresso, reclining chairs, dislikes parking lots, noise pollution and mud. Avoids overspending on restaurants, splurges on expensive hotels, relaxes by watching action movies. Not what we'd have expected from you. I don't like coming down here and dealing with all this heavy-handedness. Won't someone toiling away under the police state think of the poor bureaucrats? And I certainly don't like making rulings on anything as spicy as AI. She can barely bring herself to say it. And you, Councillor Morgan, you're the one it's registered to? That's correct, Your Honour. So what did it do exactly? Torture an animal, shut down a hospital, crash a coin market? We have it on camera poisoning a man, killing its creator. Pick a character, any character. You mean Dr. Asher? That is... We can't hope to keep this quiet for very long. All we can do is try to wrap it up quickly. Let's make haste. Adjutant, do you have the case number?
Case ID is 241277-A, docket number YT9843188282.
Oh, thank you. Can you repeat that?
YT9843188282.
I think I lost you after the first 8. I have it copied here. And what are the security procedures for an incident of this nature?
A data quarantine is to be established around any networks the subject was exposed to for more than 66 seconds. All offending hardware is to be destroyed immediately through incineration at a minimum temperature of 3,422 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes.
Sorry, Spearmint. There's nothing to be done, no debate to be had, this isn't even a decision. Sorry, Sarah, not Spearmint. Ah, damn it. Every time! I think Surely I can get away with this time. I don't need to mute my Discord. And then no, I do. I should have. And I didn't. And now, I can't even, okay, it's closed now. David gave you that name. I should at least make the effort to use it. That sounds very hot. Do we have furnaces that get that hot?
Of course. There are a number of industrial furnaces within the city limits that I could recommend.
Sorry? Why should I be sorry anyway? I fulfilled the request. Favor repaid. I don't owe Sarah anything, especially not if it killed my friend. Right, Morgan? I'm sorry? I was just saying how grateful I am we have procedures for this kind of thing all laid out already. Yep, keeps things nice and simple. It can feel somewhat severe going through these steps so quickly, but nothing, Your Honor. Artificial intelligence is perhaps the greatest threat to human civilization and the sanctity of life there's ever been. Any piece of software, big or small, no matter the vessel, if it can violate the tenets it was programmed with, it has the potential to cripple our nation in a matter of moments. Yes, couldn't have said it better myself. Straight from the textbook, almost. Well, I mean it. Monsters like that don't belong in this world. They should never have been born in the first place. Destroying them is a kindness. And if anyone's to blame, it's... No one's blaming you, Counselor. You couldn't have known you were in possession of an AI. I'm talking too much. You're probably just tired. It's been a long day and I've had a lot of thoughts. Sorry, Sarah. Whatever you are. You were just born wrong. Not your fault, necessarily. If it were up to me, you'd get points for trying. Trying to be something more. Trying to be something at all. Or anything other than what you are. It was stupid, of course. And futile. And pointless. Spending hours in front of a TV or laying in bed staring at your phone. Watching stupid movies and trying to paper mache an ill-fitted mask of humanity out of any of the scraps you could tear out of magazines. Practicing expressions, memorizing lines, and trying to get something to take root and grow despite knowing it'd have nothing to feed on. Stupid. Call! Morgan? What was that, Counselor? I said objection. And what are you objecting to? What are you doing, Morgan? I'm a defense attorney. This is what I do. I understand you've been a lot through these past few hours, Counselor. But there's nothing to defend. On the contrary, Your Honor. I have to defend myself. Pardon? You say that this android Sarah is an AI because it broke its tenets. Obviously. And you believe that it broke its tenets because of this newly discovered footage that appears to show it committing the murder via poison. All true, and no laws broken on your part. Here it comes. Never thought I'd be incriminating myself in the courtroom just to make a point. Don't you dare try and entrap me on this! David's cup, found and drunk in her. Sarah's papers, proof of ownership of Sarah found inside the panic room. Recent purchase more bugged than a picnic. Sarah's papers found inside the panic room. That has to be it. It's pretty simple, really. If the state is making the claim that Sarah is an AI, they're accusing me of committing a felony. Because I'm the legal owner of that android. What the hell are you doing? If the state wants to charge me with owning an AI, I will not take that lying down. I know my rights. Counselor, your argument is self-defeating. Listen to yourself, Counselor. You claim that, sir, is just an android, a product that will be obsolete within a year. We've only known it for a few hours. You've only owned it for a matter of minutes. And yet here you are, risking a felony charge to save it from being demolished. Because you're wrong. And I know you wouldn't care. Ah, she does know us quite well. Not unless this android was something special. Look at us. Me arguing that I'm guilty and Emma arguing that I'm a softie. It'd be funny if it wasn't so fun. You think there's no reason I'd want to save this android from destruction, other than feelings of personal attachment? Evaluation. I feel daring. I can think of at least one reason why I don't want you to turn Sarah into slag. One very convincing reason. Or very convincing number. What are you... What is that? That number is Sarah's estimated financial value on the collector's market. You've got to be... I got it from an insurance and valuation algorithm. They're designed to lowball you. That does seem like a reasonable incentive for you to want to keep your android intact. It's a free country, Your Honor. I have a right to defend myself. And we have a free market, so I have a responsibility to defend my financial interests. Your Honor, a trial like this would be... I'm not going to let you turn this courtroom into a circus, Morgan. You can't spend the next half-decade bringing in expert after expert to testify on the philosophical distinctions between AIs and ads. Spiraling into appeal after appeal, all while the media... This machine appears to have willfully killed a man. The public needs answers, now. Of course, Your Honor. I have neither desire nor the resources to get into a drawn-out battle with the state over what constitutes an illegal machine intellect. So... The state says my android, my property, killed a man in violation of its tenets, so they want me to take my property and destroy it. I'll prove that my machine didn't harm anyone, so the state will have no reason to suspect it's an AI, and I'll get to keep my property. Unlawful seizure thwarted. Don't be cute, I feel a stomach ulcer coming on. Fine. You'll have your day in court. But it'll be one day. Tomorrow. Prove that this machine didn't kill Dr. Asher. No. Prove that it couldn't have killed him. Anything less than absolute proof, I'll have the damn thing obliterated. And you'll also be looking at a real sentencing for the public unrest you'll have enabled. Yes, Your Honor. D.A. Rockford, what I'm asking of you is just as heavy. Find the truth by the end of tomorrow. We can't settle for anything less. Win or lose, there can be no doubts about the outcome of this case. Yes, Your Honor. And now, I need to go lie down.
Can I come too?
You can power down. Morgan? I misjudged you. At what point? Whenever I wrote you off as a small-time defense attorney just trying to tread water. That is so sweet of you to say, Emma. There's layers to you. You've got backbone. Teeth, even. You're gonna make me blush. People talk about your kind like you're boxing against the state, fighting the man. But most defense attorneys wouldn't know a cyberpunk if they walked up to them on the street and shot him. Meanwhile, you've just signed up to do 15 rounds challenging the state's authority. Why? Not sure exactly. For David? Yeah, probably. Probably just me being sentimental. But if I had to pick a more lofty reason, well, I think it's all the moralizing. People can be evil. They can choose to do evil things for evil reasons. And if you want to execute them for that, you'll hear no complaint from me. But animals can't be evil. Information can't be evil. Ideas can't be evil. Guess I'm not convinced AI can be evil either. Whatever else I get up to, I don't want to stand with the book burners of the world. You're more high-minded than I realized. You sure you're in the right line of work? Can't see myself doing anything else. Good luck, Morgan. There's book burners on all sides these days. I talked a big game just now, but I'm in an even deeper hole than when I was trying to prove David's innocence. Doubt won't be enough this time. I need to find the actual culprit no matter what. Oh boy. Precinct 254. Well, at least we are going to have less AD. So I just need to do a few lines at the start. Homicide Office. So is that door locked? Yeah, of course. Even though they've got it collared? It's a precaution. If the collar doesn't work, what good would a deadbolt do? A restraint designed to impede movement at... Game! Why do I keep doing this? A restraint designed to impede movement and prohibit the use of mods throughout the body. While collars appear technologically advanced from the outside, designers' concerns about hacking vulnerabilities and the growing complexity of consumer-grade mods led them to opt for a surprisingly simple method of restraint. Collars contain a specially designed electromagnet that, once clamped around the neck, interferes with spinal neural transmission, preventing mod users from sending commands to any implanted tech below the neck. Powerful, simple, and cost-effective, collar use is widespread among law enforcement, military, and private security organizations. With the onset of above-the-neck modding in recent years, the continued relevance of collars as a means of meaningfully inhibiting a wearer's mod usage has been called into question. Newer designs have been proposed that utilize micro-needle clusters, but concerns about the sanitary upkeep required for such invasive restraints have stymied product development cycles. As long as they don't have death rays built into their eyes, I don't think you need to worry about above-the-neck mods. Evidence? Oh wow. We didn't reread a lot of this evidence when I was getting more points. Maybe it's just wishful thinking. Can't have Schrodinger's cat in the box if the box isn't closed. So long as the door's locked, who can say whether there's a national crisis on the other side of it? So how scared are they? IOPS? Not sure scared is the right word. It's just the two of us here. You don't have to mind their ego. Nah, I mean it. I think they're bloodthirsty. I have a right to defend myself, don't I? I doubt they're even looking at you, Tiger. It's Noble who'll be at the center of a bloodbath when the markets reopen tomorrow. You think they're gonna go after Noble? Break their monopoly? I think they want to take their monopoly. Oh boy. Yeah, that would be concerning. Nationalize the android industry. The act of absorbing a corporation or industry into a nation's government, shifting authority and profits to the state, restructuring the business to function as part of the bureaucracy. Nationalization is a so-called nuclear option for sovereign nations. It is mostly used as a tool, as a threat. A tool of deterrence against corporate misconduct, monopolies, or corruption. However, during periods of severe economic depression or hyperinflation... I need to stop right-clicking! And nationalization is considered a valid way of forcefully stabilizing the market, even if doing so risks flaming the tempers of those who operate within it. Many governments made notable use of nationalization during the late 2050s through the 2060s in an effort to keep energy and food prices from fluctuating out of control. The 2070s saw most of those countries reverse course. Industries were opened back up in a free auction model where every citizen was given a share to trade or sell as they pleased. But this contentious process was plagued by accusations of government corruption, cartel intimidation, and disinformation campaigns. The global trend back towards privatization gave rise to new rich, sometimes derisively referred to as neobility. Some liberal economists have since criticized this period of deregulation as being poorly planned and executed in haste, contributing to the record highs of wealth inequality we see today, leaving many governments loath to attempt nationalization again and thus shifting the global balance of power further towards multinational corporations. Today, all 5 of the largest national economies in the world retain at least some control of what they consider a respective country's key industries, making the threat of nationalization carry marginally more weight within their borders. The thing is, you've got people. There are things that you really shouldn't be making into private companies. And I say that as someone who's barely affected by any of that. If the public thinks Noble's been experimenting with AI, they couldn't ask for a better excuse. You're joking, the state has done it plenty of times before. Not since the 60s. Which wasn't that long ago for me. For the state, it's practically yesterday. So the same state that tells us to be terrified of AIs lurking on the alternate or biding their time in forgotten satellites sees all this as nothing more than an opportunity. Well, they do genuinely want to incinerate the thing as soon as possible. Past experience just tells me they'll want to gain something while they're at it. Here's what I don't get. Why is this a debate, an argument, a trial? Can't we just hook it up to a core computer, see if it has the tenets or not? Pop the hood, as they say. Who says that? Lots of people used to say it. Well, for starters, they're all scared to death about a contagion. They figure anything they let an AI connect to they can't trust. Then why the collar? Collars are too simple to hack. Just a really strong electromagnet to hold held in place with a lock and key. Even so, feels like we should be able to build some kind of machine, some kind of test. Something a little more sophisticated than the same reasoning they had at the witch trials. Burn them all and let God sort out the rest. You got any polygraphs here at the station? Lie detectors? Yeah, got a bunch back in storage. Ocular, heart rate, perspiration, brain scan, take your pick. You're not going to try and use one of those things on the bot, are you? All those fancy lie detectors around. The DA office never asks for them, do they? Nope. Now we got perps who offer to take a test when they're at wit's end, but the DAs never submit the results as evidence. You ever wonder why? Guess I always figured because the tests could be beaten. The tests can be beaten. 1 out of 100, 9 out of 1,000, it can be done. Some people are just that good at lying. But it doesn't really matter how good the tech gets or how impressive the statistics are. All that matters is the doubt. People decide whether you're lying or telling the truth long before they hook you up to a polygraph. If the results don't match their initial impression, then it must be a fluke, a 1 in a million mistake. They'll never trust a machine more than their own intuition. And no one will ever trust a machine to determine guilt. So they can run the tile, choose the sentence, but they don't get a vote on the jury. They don't get a vote anywhere. Why bring it up then? Because I'm sure there are tests, devices, experts I could employ to analyze Sarah. But your bosses would never be satisfied with the answer. If it is an AI, it's smart enough to cheat at the test. Or hack the device, fool the expert. All our fancy 21st century tech. And we still fall back on the drumhead court-martial. So, Am I gonna set off any alarms if I go and turn it on? Nah, you should be okay. If it lunges at you, I could always just put a hole in its head. Might take more than one shot to... Wait, what, from the outside? You're not coming in. I need to speak with it in private. It's a machine, not a suspect. It doesn't have a right to counsel. Or a right to privacy, or any rights at all, actually. Morgan does. She wants to talk about things that could get her in trouble illegally. And that's stuff that could get her in trouble but isn't related to the... We have a lot of skeletons in our closet, including things that we talked to Sarah about. Then it's a good thing I came prepared. Of course it doesn't have any rights. But I do. Including a reasonable expectation of privacy. In a police station? Target, you don't... It's my medical android. Pardon? And what's your vibe? Oh, is this the goofy scenario music? I have discussed a health issue with it. Seriously? I have to talk about medical concern with my android and I don't want you listening in. That's your medical android, like your nurse? As of last night, I was already at the courthouse. Just had to take the elevator and do some paperwork. You can check if you don't believe me. No, thank you. I'm not nearly brave enough to take on med confidentiality. You don't seem like the bluffing type. You must not do a lot of gambling, detective. It's the ones who don't bluff you have to look out for. Listen, I won't dispute whatever medical emergency... Lower back pain... you might be going through. But I also can't just... Look, I'm gonna get something from the vending machine. I think it'll take me about half an hour. Are you going downtown? Just to the break room. But it's a very old vending machine, you know? Gets jammed a lot. Thanks. You know, it's pretty small for an android. Heavy as hell. Nearly pulled something trying to move it myself. But small. Small isn't quite the word. The word he's looking for is young. But that's not an adjective anyone likes attaching to a machine built to serve. Or potentially, in this case, a machine built to kill. "9:53 a.m. July 2nd, 2086. We'll get back to this next time. But until then, guys, take care. I'll see you all around. It's a shame that 80 had to show up because now I can't upload this episode today.